Okay, I want to talk briefly about using hot and cold stones, because you might be thinking, yeah, I've heard of this cold stone. So hot and cold stones, do we use them together? What do we use them for? What for? Right. So let's go through that. So it all comes down to, once again, what is your purpose with this massage, right? Someone's come in for a hot stones massage. So what are the benefits of the hot stones? Well, they're therapeutically, the heat. So great for aches and pains, stiffness, great for relaxation. Think heat packs, think warm baths, think all of that beautiful heat is wonderful for de-stressing because it's so calming. All those sorts of things, therapeutically, great for pain, that sort of thing. Where would cold come in? Okay, so what's cold good for? Decreasing inflammation, would you use that? So remember, what's your client coming in for? They're coming in for a hot stones massage. Now, if they're coming in for something specific, they're not coming in for a hot stones massage, are they? Like, think, we want to decrease inflammation in an ankle, or what? Or so fluid retention? Well, these are not my go-to things. Like, I'm not using cold stones. Like, just think about it. Like, someone's got fluid retention where? In their ankles, their legs. Well, you're not doing cold stones on their whole legs, are you? So what's the point of that? So you're not doing it for fluid retention. I do lymphatic drainage if someone was serious about fluid retention, right? And even if they just mention if you can do anything about, well, yeah, but that's not relaxing, is it? This cold stones is not relaxing. So again, it defeats the purpose of a hot stone massage, which is this beautiful, calming, de-stressing, relaxing. So cold is stimulating and invigorating, decreases inflammation. Great, if that's what you're doing, a therapeutic treatment. This isn't, right? Not in a I'm going to treat this inflammation way, okay? So the only one, what I'm doing here is, through the course, is when it comes to the face, I use room temperature cool stones, okay? And that is beautiful. It's a nice change, and it's beautiful for decreasing puffiness, bags under the eyes, and it's much nicer than heat, as you'll see. So that's where I use cool stones. Now, could I put them in the fridge and use cold stones? Yeah. Would I want to? I don't think so, because again, you don't want to shock the clients. You've already spent all this time relaxing them into this blissful state with your beautiful massage techniques, your hot stones, enhancing your massage technique, all of this, and then, wow, that's cold, that's cold, that's cold. Is that burning my skin? I wonder, is that, you don't want to take them out of parasympathetic mode, out of their rest, digest mode, right? And into sympathetic nervous system mode, fight, flight. In other words, you want to keep them, what you've just spent all this time doing, relaxed, completely blissed out. This is the best time of my life. And then, you go, oh, Jesus, what's jeepers creepers? What's that, right? Cool, room temperature. This is absolutely beautiful and would be much nicer than the heat, right? This is absolutely beautiful. Cold, I think, is too much. Again, these are my 2 cents worth. If you find that, no, your clients really love cold out of the fridge cold, or they really love when you tap the soles of their feet with cold. By the way, if you want to use cold, generally use marble, not the basalt or basalt stones, the volcanic stones that we use here. The cold, you use marble. Well, marble holds your cold better. Basalt holds the heat better. But again, really, that's by the by. I wouldn't go straight out and buy them just to retain a bit more cold, because you're not using them for long anyway if you're going to use them. All right, so there's no real, you just use these cold, okay? You don't need to do anything special. So that's in a nutshell about the hot and cold. We're going to use the cool ones on the face, but again, unless you find a reason, a therapeutic reason that's going to really be beneficial to your massage, I don't see any real reason to do it.